I'm officially naming this class the Cringeborn, because it's so massively overtuned and bugged that there's not a chance in hell that anyone has even tried to playtest this piece of shit class, and it's making Blizzard look like an absolute joke. Oh, you want an explanation? All right. This is a pit 143. Soon you'll have clears in the 150s. And where are the other classes? Well, roughly around tier 100 in the pit. Is it because the Cringeborn is overtuned? Sure, roughly about a factor of 10 to 20x, but the class is also bugged by a factor of at least 200x. So let's talk about what is going on with this build and why it pisses me off. To start with, we have the scaling. Naturally, Blizz wanted to make the class stronger than all the others to sell more expansions. All good, this has been standard in the industry for over a decade. But typically, you expect the new classes to be maybe 20% or so stronger than the others. But this doesn't quite work in this game, considering how insanely many multiplicative multipliers there are. Because to start off, if you would just scroll through all the aspects of this class, you would see that, basically, everything scales higher than for all the other classes. Just take the Helm of Ibawaka, for example. It's a 90% damage increase. All the other classes, apart from the Rogue, perhaps, has a maximum of 60%. Do this on every gear piece, and you're already getting into the broken territory. But there are a few items in particular that are just massively overtuned, and I don't see how in the hell they even got into the game. Just take the Rod of Kepaleka as an example. A max roll on this, and you already have a 4x multiplier, which is far higher than any other weapon in the entire game. And it fucking scales, meaning you can get it to 10x, and it has insane stats. And it turns your skills into another skill tag, like holy shit. So for the dogshit newbies, how is it utilized? Well, just sort out your resources via resource generation and the Midnight Sun, and you also make every skill crit on top of that. And as you already want to scale this weapon via maximum vigor, considering you get 3% extra damage per point of vigor, it's easy to combine it via Banished Lord's Talisman, and you also get the skills to overpower. But that's not really a problem. The problem is the crazy bugs being abused here. For starters, we have the Viscous Shield legendary node. This node in itself can grant you a 20x multiplier. How, you may ask? Well, shit, it's scaling based off base life rather than max life, meaning if you just stack as much max life as possible and get a barrier to 100% of your life, you can get a 20x multiplier. Here's some calculations made by King Pig. So the class being overtuned along with this node in itself already makes the class 100 times or so stronger than all the other classes. But there is yet another bug being hard abused, and that is the redirected force aspect. Now, naturally, you would probably expect this to be capped when the block chance is at 100%, or well, at least I would, considering you're not really grabbing more than 100% dodge chance as an example. But this is uncapped. Not really a problem if there wasn't an easy way to obtain block chance, though. The problem is that there is an easy way to do this, and that, my friends, is aspect of interdiction granting you block chance per stack of resolve. Not too broken, though, as you can only get a handful of resolve stacks, right? Nah, my man. You can temper that shit, allowing you to reach 20 or so stacks of resolve. That's 300% block chance right there. Slap on another 100% from Armored Hide, some more from the skill tree, and get a block, and you get another 10x multiplier. And all of a sudden, you're now 1,000 times stronger than all the other classes in the game. This in turn forces everyone to play the same class, because who the hell wants to play anything else? Which in turn makes the balancing of this game look like an absolute joke, and Blizz even more of a joke. What's even funnier is even if you don't play the Quill Volley build, then any Spiritborn build in the game that can utilize these two bugs are by far stronger than any other build from all the other classes by a mile. And if you're wondering if any of my builds will abuse all of this, of course they will. And so will every other build in every other content creator's videos, because if they don't abuse these bugs, then their builds are effectively turned into pure dog shit in comparison. I'm sure it will be real popular when Blizz eventually hotfixes these bugs and everyone is 200 times weaker all of a sudden. Now there are of course a whole lot of other bugs making the class even stronger because I have zero faith in that this class has been getting play tested at all in the end game. Either that or the team play testing is completely cooked in the head. And now you're probably like, hey, but Mr. Paragaming, didn't they send a bunch of people an early review copy of the game to try it all out? I mean, you have a handful of reviewers and you have a handful of streamers getting early access, basically. If you actually think that they're going to take this whole week to start testing out every class interaction to see whether they are bugged or not, then you're just as cooked in the head as Blizz. It's their job to make content, not play test shitty code. They're testing the game to make sure it's not clearly broken, and they are doing it with content as a payment. All right, friends, rant complete. So in summary, playtest the fucking game or have a beta next time, and hotfix the game before every player in the game is running a bugged build, or else people will riot when the bugs are fixed.